Welcome to Mouse Cheers.
Cheers!
Cheers!
Cheers.
Welcome back, Joe.
Well, thanks for having me.
Joe, you know what? We loved you so much on the first podcast. We had to have you back. Though I disagreed with some of your comments, most of your comments made me very happy.
Which was a pleasant surprise for me. I thought you guys would butt heads real bad.
You know, and I said this not only to John, but you before we started recording. I thought you were a good guest because I thought you would bring the best and worst out of both of us. But John continues to bring the worst out of me, and so far, though we've had our disagreements, you're only bringing the best out of me.
Really? Right.
Probably not. But I'll have to roll back.
I mean, I think we come to a few differences, but that makes good conversation, and I think you guys bring out the best in each other. If you don't mind me saying so, as a viewer,
thank you.
You guys seem to enjoy the conversation. I know we had a great conversation.
It was great. It was great. It's, and maybe I won't say what I was gonna say in retaliation to Andrew because you just put a nice little bow on it. I'll say it. You.
Just
a few episodes back, he's like, "Oh, I gotta pee." Like we just kept going for a while, and I'm like, my life would have been so complete if you had just pissed yourself, and that was the end of the episode.
like it was bad.
Cheers. Pissed myself.
Yeah.
So
that's the end of the show.
So I don't have close bathroom calls usually, but this for some reason out of nowhere. I had to pee really bad, and I was trying to end the episode. Roll back the tapes, you'll see I'll say, and we'll save our top 5 least favorite, because we were talking about rides.
Yes. Yep.
Rides in Walt Disney World, and we were just about at an hour. And I said, and we'll save it for the next time because, had to pee, ticking.
And I thought he was just looking at the time. And I'm like, hey, let's just go for it.
He was like, let's just go for it. I was like, all right, let's go for it.
Dedication.
Dedication indeed. I'm interested to talk about, so we talked about rides that time. I'm interested to talk about some of the past rides, some of the rides of the past. And I think this is a good one to have you on, Joe, because we go a little, well, yeah. my first Disney trip was with you, but the year before you had gone, so you went to Disney before I, and this was going on 15 years ago, I think, or maybe like 12 years ago or so.
Talking like, because your first time was what, 2008?
Yeah, that checks out.
So my first time late in life would have been 2007 or 2006, one or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
So some of the rides of the past, the way past, we're just not gonna. We just don't know. So we'll talk about our experience, our past. And Andrew has ridden plenty of past rides that don't exist anymore either. So I'm excited to talk about them.
All right.
Yeah. So let's start here, because I'm so interested.
Okay.
Your first trip to Disney, I know nothing about it.
Oh. Well, so, what had? Oh, geez. My uncle, huge Disney fan. Matter of fact, it kind of stinks. My uncle had died. I was quite young. And I had never been to Disney.
Cheers to your uncle.
Yeah. Cheers to my uncle.
Cheers
to my grandfather. We're going to clang all the...
Absolutely.
We all got loved ones, yeah?
Pour some
Yes, we
out for
do.
once, homies.
Cheers for the loved ones.
But in any case, so huge Disney fan. You walk into his house and the shelves lined with Disney. Didn't understand it.
That's wild.
Until I had gone to the park. And it hurts me a little bit because it's just like, man, the conversations I could have with this man now would be phenomenal.
Right.
Especially if we were going to talk about rides. There's probably rides we didn't even know existed.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if not watching documentaries,
Yeah.
would have no idea, and and he would have likely ridden them. So in any case, huge Disney fan, as goes his family. So my aunts and these aren't blood relatives, but they they are as close as family can get because it's who raises you, right?
Absolutely.
Of course.
So, my aunt and both my aunts and my uncle at the precipice of their trip that is practically annual. They're going all the time. They're like, "Hey, why don't you come with us? We'll pay for you." And I'm like, I've heard it's for kids. And da, 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 da. They bring me on down. They're like, "Hey, we'll pay for the trip. What have you?" So I go down there. It's a free trip. Let's do it.
That's wild.
I did not understand how much I would love it till I was there.
Wow.
Like, I think there's a video or at least pictures of me cheesing like crazy, seeing the castle and everything like that.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, Main Street itself, which hasn't changed drastically or anything, is in itself an experience.
Oh, yeah. Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Did you listen to the podcast where we talked about if we could spend a day in Frontierland?
Is that episode 2?
It is.
It's the one episode. I went 1 to 3.
I think you went 1 to
Don't
3.
ask me why. Yeah, I know why. I know why. So I was watching their episodes. I watched episode 1. I'm like, got to watch the next one. And you had it was like an hour after you posted it, and it was the first thing that popped up.
Yeah.
So I clicked on it thinking it was episode 2, but it was episode 3.
We're going to have to talk after that because I'm so interested in what you think because our days are very different.
Are they?
We need to this is not this is not a once off here. You're coming back. So at some point we need to talk about ride strategy. We will talk about that one time. I'm very curious, and it's in the same vein of like spending a day but like just overall ride strategy.
We'll talk strategy, and
Yeah.
not only strategies changed only because of online.
Oh yeah.
People
Absolutely.
talk, and
Absolutely.
thus the crowds have changed, and it has changed the
You're
game.
darn right.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely
You're
talk
darn right.
about that for sure.
We'll talk. Yeah.
But so,
please.
anyways, I was with an ex-girlfriend at the time. She had come with me also, and it was basically like between all these Disney experts. They had all gone before. I was a first timer.
Yeah.
And it was all like teaching me the ways, what to hit first, where the crowds would be versus where you would be. Online, not nearly as big of a presence, so a secret was a secret. Well, amongst a smaller group of people in comparison. So I think the first ride I hit out the gate might have been Splash Mountain, which is not an old ride yet, but considering it's gonna change.
Yeah.
Which it breaks my heart that I'm not going to get to ride it a last time. I understand everything's going to eventually change.
Yeah.
With that, we should talk about Splash Mountain at some point.
Do you remember? Do you remember riding it in the rain?
It might have been the most epic thing in the world. Because Splash, true to its name, you were soaked, and it didn't matter. Oh my God, that was a great night.
Yeah.
That was
a great night. It was a great night.
You came in, it was raining lightly. And so like you're coming through and then you go in through the inside and we're coming back out and oh my goodness. It was just downpouring.
Yeah.
Downpouring.
So we're just like,
Now, I've said this before, and Princess and the Frog is my top 5 favorite Disney movies. If you want to make a Princess and the Frog ride, I say make it and make it fast.
Mm-hmm. But
not Splash Mountain.
It stinks that they're taking out Splash Mountain because it's such an epic ride. I understand, the talk about the movie, as far as being outdated. For me, I've never watched the movie. I know the ride. But for me, the ride is just so iconic. But also, I think about the logistics of it. You have a ride that it's still extremely popular. And you're going to shut it down. There's not too many new things going on in the park.
mm-hmm.
And then you're going to revamp it into a new ride, and it will get probably a little busier, but I don't think that's going to spread out the crowd too much. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, it's like, I feel like you're better off just making a whole new thing and keeping Splash Mountain since it's very popular. Obviously, it's because I really like the ride. But at the same point, accepting the fact that it's going to be remade,
Yep.
I would hope, and I hope it's not just hope, that they put the time, effort, and money as far as animatronics
completely agree.
Do not just throw a bunch of projections on the walls. Like this is too iconic. It's one of the mountains.
Yep.
Like treat it like one of the mountains. If
it's one of the mountains.
It's one of the mountains.
Oh,
yeah.
It stings a
That's
little.
probably the best way you can put it.
It's one.
That
of
was
the
a good
mountains.
one.
Yeah,
that was a good
I know
one.
Lewis will be great. I'm sure. Like
oh yeah.
I mean, you haven't in probably playing the trumpet and everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be great. I'm sure there will be some key stuff.
Yes.
But like, Splash Mountain is one of those rare rides that lasts a while, and there's a lot to enjoy.
It's immersive and it's a very magical start to your Disney trip if you head right there.
Yeah, what a first ride.
Oh, yeah. And
for
they
your
can do
first
some
trip.
epic things. Think about it. The things they did there, the experiences people talk about today, the things like you don't know that creating the ride. You're hoping it's a hit. It's extreme hit. People loved it. They talk about it to this day.
Right.
So now you can go into there with that knowledge, creating the Princess and the Frog. Underrated as it be, we know there's awesomeness to be had there.
Oh yeah.
You can hit the moments. You can have some fun. So there's a lot you can do. There's a lot of great things. Hopefully they do it.
We'll hold out hope for that for sure.
Yeah.
I want to go back to you talking about like the Main Street being an experience and like the Main Street Electrical Parade, like at night.
Ooh,
Come
man!
on.
First time I seen it, never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wild.
And you ever try to take pictures of the?
Yeah. Yeah.
You first you hit it with the flash.
Yeah.
Nothing looks worse, guys. I swear to God, if you're taking a picture of this parade, if you ever get to see the parade,
I think it'll come back.
I think it will too.
Yeah.
Doubt it.
Don't use the flash.
Don't use the flash. I forget if it was one of your pictures or one of mine, but it's like Gus from like Cinderella, and we took a close-up picture. We like zoomed in, took a picture, and you could like see like the person through the eye.
What?
Yeah.
Don't use the flash.
Don't use
Just
the
don't
flash.
use the costumes and the floats. They're not meant for light.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah.
You never told me that. I didn't know that
I may
story.
have showed you that picture. I don't know if it exists. But
Disney's very good in their costumes as far as hiding. What's your audience? Is it?
Audience.
Nah,
For the adults out there, you know what's what. Okay,
as of this
costumes be
episode,
costumes.
No audience.
But the
yeah.
point is, they're very good about hiding the actors.
Yeah.
Those nighttime parades need a little bit more visibility, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but the point is, you hit that flash, you will see things, even if it's the costume and you don't see what's behind it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be lit all wrong.
It does no service
between
to you.
people using the flash for that, one mistake, you're allowed. But the people who use flashes for fireworks, you want to talk about who should just bury their head and just disappear.
They're
Look,
a breed.
you're not gonna light it up.
Yeah.
Just turn off the flash. Help the folks around you, please.
Yeah. Goodness. And speaking of fireworks, when I guess it's no surprise about Splash Mountain because once Wishes was replaced, nothing was safe.
True.
Nothing was safe.
Although Wishes had gotten replaced and then it came back.
Wishes.
Oh, really?
This was a while ago.
Oh.
Well, okay, so it had stopped for a while. I don't know if it was replaced, but it had stopped.
But then it came back.
And it was rumored, at least I was told from the people who had been there before and everything like that.
Right.
Oh, hey, this was going to go away, but it came back.
Understood.
And so I got to experience it.
Oh, awesome.
Wishes was my favorite thing, period.
Imagine it with the projection mapping they got now.
Imagine
redo
it.
Wishes.
That's redo Wishes, yeah.
There's a reboot. I'll go. Cheers to the reboot.
Cheers
of Wishes.
to the reboot.
To the reboot. Ha.
Yeah, that would be great. Wishes. That's one that's gone. If we're
I
talking
was-
old, we're talking old and gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heartbroken. Heartbroken when
Yeah,
it left.
it's tough.
Heartbroken.
It's
Have a painting in my house, courtesy of this gentleman here. Thank you.
No doubt.
Wishes fireworks show behind the castle.
Yeah.
It's
It's a painting,
it's more than a painting. It's a prized possession of mine. One, because it was given to me by him, but also because it's not just a Disney thing that I love, but it's the Disney thing that I love.
Yeah.
You know?
You got the soundtrack?
Do I have the soundtrack?
Ain't nothing better. You driving, hear Jiminy Cricket. You gotta smile.
Yeah.
You looking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta smile.
Wishes. What an end of the night for you. Start with Splash Mountain, you end with Wishes. How do you top that? I guess Princess and the Frog and my goodness, I had to look it up in the other episodes too. The You Are the Magic, that one.
Yeah. Wow.
Princess the Frog would do good with a mix of practical and maybe even some projection as far as the nighttime sky.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the big open area where you normally come down and the boat is. You can really. I don't know the space because they trick you with the space on how much room there actually is.
They do.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
good with that.
So, I mean, I feel like there's a lot they can do. I don't mean to make this the episode about Splash Mountain. I'm just saying Splash Mountain.
Every episode at its heart is
Yeah.
about Splash.
I mean,
Isn't it?
Yeah, come on.
it's great. It's fundamental, and if it's gonna evolve, great. Princess and the Frog, put the time into it, and it could be wonderful.
It needs to be as good. It needs to be a little better than
It does.
Splash in my opinion.
Is Magic Kingdom your favorite park?
The parks have fluctuated over the years.
So let's talk favorite park first visit, favorite park now.
Visiting the park, it was definitely Magic Kingdom. It was the thing that spoke Disney. When you think about, Walt Disney, giving his speeches and everything. Obviously, we're talking Disneyland. But you think Magic Kingdom,
Yeah.
Welcoming
Yeah.
everyone. And so it's just like, okay, so there's the nostalgia. That's the thing I know, and I go there in Disney World and Main Street, and I like those vibes. And for me, it was always start with Magic Kingdom, end with Magic Kingdom. Everything else in between.
Yeah.
Some of the other parks have really grown. Now, when I first went, Everest had just finished being made. Everest is a
Yeah, it's so awesome.
wonderful
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah.
So like Animal Kingdom has some stuff to compete now, especially if you're a big animal lover and what have you. That's your jam. For me, I think it's still Magic Kingdom. But the others have really brought up their game. It's not a definitive. It's a lot harder.
It's
of a
closer
choice.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
What about you guys?
So generally, I'm the Epcot. He's the Epcot guy. I'm the Magic Kingdom guy. But please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's true. I am the Epcot guy, but I also am like, what's your favorite park besides Magic Kingdom? Because it was always like its own thing, and that's like that's Disney. Where would I want to hang out for the day, or like where do I feel like I'm on vacation? Is Epcot. Food and wine.
There
There it is. Yeah, it was
Cheers!
there. It was there.
Food and
Cheers,
Wine
food and
Festival.
wine.
Here's to the Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, it's.
Yeah. Did
That's
you
where to spend
ride?
some time.
Did you ride? Where we have Figment Journey into Imagination. Did you ride the Figment before?
No, it was already Figment.
Okay.
As we know it, now.
Got you.
People
Its
are
days
up in
might be numbered.
people are up in arms. We're up in arms and still about that change.
Hear how long they stood in line for that popcorn bucket? Yeah, apparently
That's
Figment is
true.
very important.
That's true.
Yeah.
The fandom is so much more. Like I mean, obviously Disney World is one of like the focal tourist destination. But like if you had been like, hey, Figment's super popular, I'm like, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That
check out this
popcorn
line
who's
for a
going to stand on
popcorn bucket.
7
Yeah.
hours for a freaking popcorn bucket?
Crazy.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Wow. What about Okay, so some of this I don't know because when I went, Spaceship Earth had the new that new system where it took your picture.
I
and it
did have the old one.
You had the old one. What
I
was
did.
the old one like?
Most of the animatronics and everything were the same. One of the big changes they made was that narrative where you're kind of shaping your future
Okay.
and kind of going through there. And to be honest, I had only ridden it once or twice on my first visit, and then it got shut down for the overhaul
Wow.
for
Oh,
what
really?
it is now. I like the one it is now. I like where you get to shape your future, and to be honest, it's a damn shame. Normally, I'm older. You know, you mentioned change, and I'm like, nah, you ain't got to change it.
Right.
Mentioning refurbishing, Spaceship Earth, where I'm just like, okay, I know what you did the first time. I know that there have been advancements. If you're talking about, giving it, kind of a new kind of look, refurbishing what's already there, adding on to it, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a shame that, with, obviously the past couple of years have not been great and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So obviously it, that
We'll see.
stinks.
Yeah.
And when they recuperate, I don't know what
There's always
Disney's
a
number
slump.
is for
Yeah.
recuperation.
Right.
Because they're putting a lot of money into Disney Plus and everything. I'm like, hey, let's put that back in the park. That's the moneymaker anyway.
That's the moneymaker, and I think eventually that'll happen.
Yeah.
There's always a slump, and they come out.
Yeah. Since we're in Epcot right now, you rode the test track before what it is now.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys talked about that on your
Yeah.
third
The
episode.
pre-ride
What
show. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Okay. Have you guys been
I'm
to
sorry, you go.
Disney?
Well, you're going to mention Cars.
And that's my thing. Have you been to
No.
Disney in California?
No.
So their test track is Cars.
Yeah.
It's almost turn for turn. There might be some differences. I don't know. I've only been there a couple of times. But let's say it's turn for turn. Cars is the better theme.
I'll agree with that.
As far as compared to what isn't Tron, but Tron-like, and as you
Right.
compared it. But I will say, as far as I like the idea of kind of bringing into the future, kind of 80s thinking.
Yeah.
But the pre-show and everything, it's just like there was something to it that was there before that's not there now.
Yeah.
Right.
Mixed on it.
I agree with
Do you enjoy creating your own vehicle?
It could be, for when it started out, it was fine. For what it is now, especially with everyone's on their phone playing games. You've got a computer in your hand.
It really, yeah.
So if they're
I can't
going to
stand it.
continue, that needs to.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit. I'll bypass it every time.
Now, see,
and you-
let's say what you did changed the ride, even if in the slightest degrees, whether it's a portion you're going through that's projection mapping, again.
Right.
And I know I'm thinking really far outside, but that's the thing. Disney used to be, let's be innovative.
It's innovative.
Let's risk some things.
Yeah.
And especially with Universal, they're about to create another park.
Yeah.
You've got to.
This is where I think the slump, like when they come out, they got to come out swinging because other people, other companies are taking advantage of the fact that some people are not so happy right now with the parks particular.
Parks are making, and we were discussing this before, parks are making some great money right now.
Yeah.
The parks have always been the main bringer in, but as far as putting that money back into the parks, as far as longevity, profits are great. Fan response, not so much.
Right.
So what's that say for 10 years down the road?
Right. How sustainable is that?
And that's the thing. I think that in 10 years, you're either going to see that Disney has, kind of like figured out, and obviously Disney has people looking at all these things. It's not like, we're the only ones who realize this. They may have
right.
some idea of what they're, trying to do, and some folks very much more than me. But at the same time, you can't exactly predict how people are going to flow. So either they're going to change their ways and kind of try and appeal to, to the broader audience as much as possible, or you're going to see Universal, who's been compared to Disney, but they haven't reached that standard.
Right.
Yeah.
But they've been coming close, and who knows? We may see a different era where all of a sudden Universal is king.
It kind of depends how much land Universal can really own, because Disney is almost
But I don't think they could.
right. So
Disney
I think,
owns so much.
I think you can argue about quality, but I don't think that you can argue about the Goliath that Disney is. So I you have. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I think there's a slump that we can get out of. That's
Yes.
all.
Oh, and here's the thing, Disney fan. I want them to get out.
Oh, of course.
You know.
We're Team Disney.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Make no mistake about that.
I just want their purpose to be about the guest experience.
Yeah.
And some of that has been lacking. Some of it is understandable. Some of it, in my opinion, is not.
Like Genie
And-
Plus.
I mean, but that's just it. It used to be you'd go in, and did they get your money? Yes. But they tried to do as much as possible as far as getting it up front so that by the time you were in the park, it was smooth sailing.
Yeah, you're in and you can plan
And
it.
forget about it. Forget about the giant price you already paid.
Right.
Not to say that you didn't pay a giant. It's Disney.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're paying an even higher price. And there's still more to go. And
Yeah.
you're reminded of it every day.
Yeah.
And now you also have to plan eat day by day. And I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And maybe I'm phased out, and maybe I'm not the target. I don't know.
It's hard to say. Again, it's like you're saying, 10 years down the road, how sustainable is it? And we'll see. We'll see if they dial back. We'll see if certain things become, free again, like Genie Plus, or, I don't think Genie Plus is going away. But if Genie Plus is the new Fast Pass,
Should Lightning Lane, should there be a Fast Pass, or should it just? Do you think the line would move better if there was no other line?
That's an interesting
it would.
question.
I've heard the
Well,
argument.
it
I'm just
would,
curious.
because during the pandemic, if we would go to Disney, the 6-foot separation was jarring because, you're in line for Little Mermaid Journey Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid, and the line goes all the way back to Big Top Circus, or what that store is called. It's
And
a
you were
long way.
there during
It
those
is.
I was
times.
there twice during the pandemic. The line looked extraordinarily long, but it moved really fast because there was nobody in the Fast Pass lane, and everybody was 6 feet apart. So it looked intimidating, but you got it fast.
So let's say COVID's not a thing.
Yeah.
People are scrunched together. As
And they
a little
are
closer.
and
A
they
little
are.
clo-
No.
Oh, they're.
It is back to normal.
I never understood that, and there was a comedian.
I
and
got
he was-
COVID last from the.
the
I've been
comedian
dodging
was talking
COVID since
about
the
the
19.
difference as far as between as far as how close people are to you. It's just why is it when you're in line somebody's just like it's like
Yeah.
get on.
Yeah, it's like we're not going anywhere.
And exactly. So, but okay, take the 6-foot distance, shrink it up. Would it be better without Lightning Fast Pass and just a normal line to where it's longer, but there's no interruptions? It's just that line. The digital queue where you can have essentially a place, hold in line for you,
Yeah.
which is essentially in a sense Fast Pass anyway.
You're right.
Seems like a good idea. I don't think they've quite nailed it from the sounds of it. I haven't experienced
And
that.
it's really just for people who are savvy on their smartphone.
That's the thing. And now
Yeah.
you got to be savvy.
Yeah,
You
no,
have to
I don't
be.
like that because I'm friends with people that still have a flip phone, and you're telling me that they don't deserve the experience I deserve.
Right.
It's not only that, but before, being savvy meant you were a step ahead of the game. Before, everybody was on YouTube talking about the secrets of Disney,
Yeah.
this and that. If you had a strategy, which we can totally get into, but if you had a strategy, it was like, cool, if I am on my game, I can get a little extra. I can get ahead of what is the normal great pace.
Yeah.
And get ahead. Whereas now, if you are not savvy, you might not even be at the average. You might not have a great time because you might. And here's the thing for us going down, we're on the East Coast, go down to Florida.
Yeah.
All well and good. You imagine flying over the pond, coming over to this end, spending all this money.
Not being prepared, not being savvy with the phone, and you're gonna have a bad time.
especially all that money. Matter of fact, people are
Yeah.
talking about all these fights breaking out and what have you. It could be stress because of
It could be stress.
could be stress. You know, you're going on this vacation, you're spending all this money, you're reminded of it every day. I don't
You're
know.
probably right. You're probably right.
But we're not talking about. We're talking about Days Gone.
Let me
Yeah,
ask you.
yeah.
Let me ask you.
We're talking in the future here.
I know we are talking, past, but I do have to ask you. You a Star Wars fan?
I am.
So you're all about the Galactica.
Go ahead, say the real name.
Yeah.
You say it. You say it right.
I honest to God don't know the name. It's Galactica. No, it's not Galactica because you roasted me about. Hold on. It starts with a G though. I'm close.
Starts with a G.
I'm there. Okay, I am there. It's No, I'm thinking Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's
for the
Edge.
sake of this podcast.
I thought he was going to get it with Galaxy.
Guardian.
So anyways, you're asking, do I like Galaxy's Edge?
Yes.
I like Galaxy's Edge. I could have loved it. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of people dogging it to crap.
Yeah.
I disagree. I do think it was in response to Universal. It's a shame they didn't just get ahead of the game, but whatever. I think it could definitely be way better than what it is currently.
Yeah.
What it is right now is nice.
Yeah.
I disagree. I'm not a Star Wars guy, you see.
Well, that's okay.
I'll skip it every time, and you know what makes lines shorter like Rock and Roller Coaster? I'll ride that bad boy 5-6 times.
None wrong with
Those
that.
lines are shorter now because
Yeah.
of Mickey Minnie's Toy Story
Anything
Land.
that's new when Tron
Galaxy's
comes
Edge.
out, that's gonna suck in.
It will.
Yeah.
Do you... I'm sorry, did I cut you off or no?
No.
Okay.
I cut him off. So you didn't have to.
Yeah.
So, do you agree with the transition from Great Movie Ride to Mickey and Minnie's, or would you take back a Great Movie Ride?
I haven't been to Disney since Mickey Minnie's Railway.
Oh, I see. Well, then tell me, if you had to just assume, because right off the bat, were you a Great Movie Ride fan?
I was. A refurbishment of that would have made my
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Now they've taken that away. It's now a trackless ride. Yeah.
Well, hold on. So Joe hasn't ridden Rise of the Resistance either.
Which you don't need to. You don't need to.
I'm going to disagree on that. I kind of need to.
Well,
It's almost the purpose for the entire area. Now, I've heard it's been down a few times, but I do need to do it. I'm
Yes.
sorry, but I do need to do
so
it.
you need to do it, but I don't support the whole Galactica.
Galaxy's Edge.
This is a
Star Wars. Just call it
this is
Star
a
Wars Land.
shtick.
Just call it Star Wars Land.
You're full of it.
I don't support it.
Yeah.
And though you can try it just to continue on saying you've done everything at Disney World, because you've done everything at Disney World, yes.
If the new stuff I have not.
Other than the newest stuff.
Right.
Okay. So then try it just to say that continue to say you've done everything at Disney World, but you don't need to do it twice.
So
What are you proving? What are you trying to prove?
The idea, what I've seen of that ride really does look interesting. And I'm fine with trackless rides. Matter of fact, you want to break it down technically.
Oh, yeah.
Tower
Amazing.
of Terror is a trackless ride.
That's absolutely true.
Technically.
I will skip Tower of Terror every time.
Oh, wow.
There's
Like Tower of Terror.
We're done.
There's a drop.
Yeah.
And now we're on this. There's a Joffrey's cart right by the exit there. I sit down, I have a muffin while my guests are on the Tower of Terror.
Can't wait.
Do you
till he
hate
tells-
life?
I love my life.
I can't
eating
wait
that
till he
muffin.
tells this story again at some point in another episode.
So has he already explained why he
talks
hates...
about getting a muffin.
No,
while
hold
other
on.
people-
But what is it about Tower of Terror.
He doesn't like rides that go up and down.
I'm not a roller coaster guy.
Not
in general. I make exceptions when I go to Disney World, but I do not like roller coasters.
That's not a roller coaster.
You're right. It's worse.
It might be worse for you, but it's also not like there are those rides, Six Flags, Universal, as far as bring you up, bring you
won't
down.
catch me on
this
that at
does
Six
it in a
Flags.
very solid way, in my opinion. However, and unfortunately for him, we're not. This isn't a rides pass because it's still around. Although if you count California, it's technically gone. Tower of Terror, my first ride.
It counts.
Love Twilight Zone, by the way, so I hope they don't change it.
I agree.
Nothing's safe.
Exactly. Nothing's safe.
I have lots of
My
problems
first
with
ride
that.
was great, but my second ride, nothing will ever beat it because we went through and there was a flat out storm. It hadn't hit till we got inside.
What's with you and riding things with storm, like while a storm's happening,
man.
and then you go like, "Oh wow, this is the best." This
Splash.
is the best ride
Apparently,
I've ever
everything's
done."
better in the rain.
This is legit the best, though.
But this isn't about getting wet. This is just the scenery, baby. It's all about the scenery. So, anyways, storm's coming in. We don't really see it. We're inside now. Obviously, you hit the elevator. You're in the basement. In line. We're in line. Storm has come over since we're in there. But it's not so bad that everything stops.
Of course.
It's in the distance. It's over the park. That's the brain. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's in the distance.
So we're on the ride, and we come to the elevator door. Opens up. It is gray, diagonal rain, and purple lightning. Strikes, flash, drop. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
Somebody may have a better experience, but for me, that is the end all be all.
That's so awesome. You can't plan that.
Yeah, every other ride has been like, this is nice. But you remember when the world changed for my ride?
Yeah, that's so funny.
That was great. That was awesome.
Yeah. Harken back to Star Wars. Star Tours 3D
makes
technically
my eyes dizzy.
was technically a refurb. It wasn't 3D before,
Got
so you
sensitive
didn't used to
eyes.
have
Oh,
glasses.
I thought it was 3D.
No, the glasses was a new thing. It was just a regular virtual ride, and then it went down. It was called Star Tours 3D when it reopened. I remember that.
Huh.
Yeah.
I have a sensitive face area. The eyes are sensitive. I get dizzy. Star Tours. The ears are sensitive. I can't get wet. Soft teeth, you know.
I thought you were going to bring up. So, what was the ride? Actually, it was near Star Tours. Oh geez. It was the Drew Carey
the Drew Carey experience or something.
Yeah,
No,
where it was complete black and you were just listening to audio.
Drew Carey.
That was before the American Idol experience. It was in the same building, which is now for first time in forever.
You could
frozen.
even talk about the
American Idol experience. I've never done the Drew Carey.
Never did that.
No.
It was all right.
Okay.
Like
that's why.
Well, you
Like
know
most
what
of Drew
Stitch
Carey's
did?
work.
You know what
Yeah.
the Stitch, it's Magic Kingdom, Stitch's Great Escape,
Yeah.
which is gone now.
Yeah.
We'll go back to
It's
that.
gone.
We'll go. No.
What do you have to say?
It's gone. Well, I want to talk about it. It's a
All
ride
right.
of the past.
I mean,
okay.
okay,
We'll come back to it.
We'll touch on that.
All right.
So I won't say too much, but in the sense of where there's close audio and as far as what that does for you while you're in the dark, that was this entire ride experience.
Why was it Drew Carey?
Why
He
was
was the
it Drew-
host, and I assume.
Well, then why was it Ellen for the Ellen ride? You know.
Well, because she was. Well, I never did Drew Carey, but the Ellen show, it was Ellen and like Bill Nye the Science Guy, and they just like did their whole
In
thing.
his defense, why was that Ellen? It's somebody who was either close with Disney, had a
Okay.
passion for the project, or
Okay.
was famous at the time, whatever it be.
All right.
In fact, like even Gary Sinise. Now, I would also disagree with you on Gary Sinise just not giving a crap. I also think that's part of how Gary Sinise's delivery is,
part of the
and how
charm.
realistic it would be if you were just getting ready for a space flight.
I love Gary Sinise.
No, I love it too.
Okay.
But I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
also think it's because he just doesn't give a crap. And I don't think he does totally give a crap. I think that's also like that it's the way that delivery is. But I would agree that
Okay.
if you're gonna redo a script, come up with something altogether different.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was that ride, and then it turned into the
American Idol.
the American Idol experience, which you did, and he was just soaring. This guy, now it takes up your day. If
It
you
takes
were,
up your day.
Yeah.
Second place, if I'm correct.
You audition. Well,
First.
I won twice.
Yeah.
So here's my thing: you audition early in the day, and then you audition for one person. Then they like move you on to another person. You audition again, and then you either get it or you don't. I got it, and then they're like, "All right, come back here at 1 p.m. and that's when your show is, and it's between 3 people." I won my show, and then all the winners in the whole day come back at like 7 p.m. for a finale. Whole day.
Yeah.
First time, I did not win. I won my show, but then I went and like then there was this guy.
No.
That like
guys,
saying,
guys, I'm telling you from the audience point of view, he doesn't know shit. He was up there, he was just giving it all. All right, so he wins. So the first competition, there's what, like 5 or 6 competitions
in
day.
a day, yeah.
So he's like one of the early ones. He wins, like he sings, beats everybody, like not just because he's my friend, just beats everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. All right, we vote for him. He gets it. Awesome. He's going on to the finale, end of the day. He gets there. He had it in the bag. I'm not saying this because he's my friend. I'm saying he had it in the bag. If I was just showing up, he had it in the bag. Just everybody else was good. They just weren't as good as him. And he was like right there. There was one person after him. Couldn't touch him. All good. And then the last guy comes out. And you know when you see it, he walks out there.
And there it is.
Yeah.
And there it is.
And he delivered that performance where you're looking at everybody. I mean, we're still voting for our friend, but
but we know who the real winner is.
So, and if somebody was going to win and beat him, I'm glad it was this guy. The second time he did it.
The second time was not like that. I beat this. The first time I think I like beat a little kid.
Yeah.
Second time there was this young girl and I won. And later on we passed her with her mom or something, and I like waved hi. I'm like, "Oh, hi," and she like ignored me, and you guys laughed at me. But the finale though, there was this like upper middle aged guy singing old time rock and roll, and he was good. He was very good.
He was karaoke bar good.
He was karaoke
He
bar
played
good.
the crowd very well.
That's what it is. It's like this is an upbeat song. It played the crowd, and he won. And right after he won, a couple of the judges came up to me and said, "You did very well." Like in kind of in a you were robbed sense. So the first one I felt it was justified. Like, hey, if I lose, I'd like to lose to somebody like that. The second time, I honestly thought I had it in the bag, but I don't know if our buddy Paul voted for me that time.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
He played for the guy who's just shaking it for the
Yeah,
audience.
yeah.
The second time really was just a rob. Like that was the time where I was just like, oh, all right, this time our buddy got it. There's nobody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a shame.
But to be honest, I'm glad that it's done. Like American Idol experience is over. It had a run, and now it's something else because it just takes up your day.
It does.
And being a singer, you want to do it, but then once you're in it, you're like, okay, this is a whole day of my vacation, so you don't want to do it. But also you like to perform.
I feel like if it was still going on, you would have been like somebody who's just like, hey, I did it twice.
Yeah,
and it was
true.
great.
Maybe I'll watch it.
Particularly if you had won. If you had won, I'm sure you would have been
If I had won, it'd probably be like, let's quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it's kind of over now. So that's that. Yeah.
But that's a good one. That something that was there that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
We are in Hollywood studios right now.
So
you go. But I want to stay in Hollywood for a minute.
Yeah, no, this is Hollywood related. So what are your feelings about the Sorcerer Mickey hat not being there anymore?
The Sorcerer Mickey hat was never a huge deal. So it was utilized as an icon for the park, but it never really was and I know that was added. So when I first went, it was already there, but it was an addition, and I'm sure people had things to say when it was added. But for me, it was not, because you had some merchandise for sale underneath it. It's not like it was like this thing to go to.
Right.
Could have been, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, when it was gone and it was the Chinese theater, that for me was like, ooh, okay, heading down to this. And for me, the Great Movie Ride was the sum of I'm getting the impression that they're changing what, Hollywood Studios is. But when it was Hollywood Studios, that was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
There we go. And if it's okay with you.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Great Movie Ride a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, and me and you have talked about this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's a travesty that we don't have it anymore, because some of the reason why I've seen some movies I've seen is because of the Great Movie Ride. As someone who loves movies myself, it introduced me to such classics as Singing in the Rain, Casablanca, all these things that people aren't being introduced to anymore, especially people who don't care for older or black and white movies.
I can see that. I mean, in fact, technically, it even brings you inside that. I mean, the Wizard of Oz section. I mean, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, people were getting their wedding receptions in, like, say, portions of that ride. So, I mean, obviously, we're talking big bucks, but
Really?
You could get married and then go to the Wizard of Oz section and have dinner tables and what have you, and that's just awesome. But like, kind of going through there as far as the ride and being, the Wicked Witch with the Reds. I mean, it's a dope thing, and especially if you were going to revamp it and like put in today's technology and everything like that, that ride would be awesome. The Alien section, oh my god,
Oh yeah. That was awesome.
and
yeah.
if you wanted to scare me, you could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And seriously, if you were gonna
forgot about
revamp that, think about the section you could do, and Ripley come out, talk about freaking best hero in sci-fi, just freaking Ripley, just
I love Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway, but this may contradict what I said in a previous episode. I do miss it.
It's a great thing. And the cheesy, we're talking as just underneath Jungle Cruise as far as cheesy guide.
Yeah, right.
But I almost think I have
It's
no
better.
idea if this is accurate, but I feel like they took the Jungle Cruise as, okay, what can we use that's purposely
template,
cheesy,
yeah.
and turn it into our own narrative, and doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
And in my opinion, they balanced it really, really well.
I do agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ride will be missed.
Yeah.
That was my jam.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Sorry, I'm sad now.
No, it's all good.
You should be, because I won't get into it. I've said this all already. I have a thing about trackless rides, and I have really strong feelings about the Great Movie Ride. I won't. John,
What is it about
please.
the actual trackless thing?
It's lazy. Thank you for asking. It's lazy, and don't
stepped in it.
don't get
He
don't
stepped in it.
don't get me wrong. The technology blows me away. If someone that created the ride came to me and was like, "Well, you do it," I couldn't even fathom how to do it.
It's lazy. Don't get me wrong. Technology blows me away.
Don't get me wrong.
But
you
it's
guys,
lazy.
you guys are nailing it, but it's lazy.
I don't
I
get it.
don't know. I feel like, especially if a track can, even in minute forms, change, all well and good. For me, it's, as far as Mickey and Minnie, from what I've seen, it's the amount of projection versus animatronics or physical special effects. I feel like projection mapping is great, and it can do visuals that you cannot do physically. But when you just rely on it heavily, I haven't been on the ride. I'm looking forward to it. I've noticed
Good ride.
There's animatronic on it.
Yeah, I just think, if you start to rely on it too heavily,
Right.
We've seen that with the Navi River, where it's just like, you've got a really, dope animatronic at the end, And then while you're going through it, the mixture of physical, the lily pads with the projection on top of them is great. Mm-hmm. There's other areas where you're just throwing some stuff on a screen, and it's just like, you're better than this, Disney.
And that's what it well, that's not what it comes down to. I was wrong when I said that. Because what's happening here, and when you write it, you'll understand. I'm not saying I dislike Mickey and Minnie's. Not saying that. I'm just saying I liked Great Movie Ride so much more because that is something special in me. Because I'm a movie guy, Mm-hmm. And we talked about this also, but what's wrong with having a park that, because like Epcot, you have the World Showcase. They're not Disneyfying the World Showcase. What's wrong with having a park that is Hollywood based? Right now they're starting to Disneyfy that Hollywood, so it's Hollywood Disney. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Especially now that Disney owns Fox and has a back catalog of endless movies. So I understand, like, it used to be called MGM. They had to change that to Hollywood Studios. And then what was the TMC? No, TCM, Turner Classic Movies.
Oh, yeah.
But they can utilize their films now that they have in their backlog.
Them? I did not know that.
Disney owns Fox. That's why they can do X-Men. That's why they can do...
I meant the one you said that before that.
Turner Classic?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's Disney owned, but that's what the Great Movie Ride, it was all Turner Classic Movies. Like when you were standing in that queue line, it was just like...
Oh, yeah, they got the thing on.
Yeah, they had all those movie previews. That was all Turner Classic.
You know what? It could also be that Hollywood just doesn't have the glamour that it used to have. Because it used to be... the only thing you knew about actors was what they wanted to show you. Occasionally the tabloid piece, what have you.
Right.
But like now you're so involved in people's everyday life where it's just like, it's probably lost a little of that glimmer.
I feel
and
that.
Tinseltown just maybe that's not a selling point for Disney anymore. It's a shame because I loved Lights Motor Action.
Lights Motor Action.
Just
dude, that was a
what a show
every
that
time
was.
for me.
and I was told it was crap. Two things I was told that was crap when I came on Disney. I was told don't see these things. One was the Country Bear Jamboree.
Wait. Time out. You were told don't see the Country Bear Jamboree?
No, buddy. I went there 3 years.
That's our clip.
I went there. I went there 2 to 3 years in a row without watching it because I was told not to.
Yeah. The first year I went, I did not watch it.
What?
And then finally, this guy and I were there, and we're like, "Hey," I had broken up with my ex and everything, so we're like, "Hey, let's go check this out."
Let's check out this.
I don't know if I broke up it yet.
Yeah.
Well, I was probably on the rocks at this point. But
So
okay.
it had to come to a breakup for you to check out the Jamboree.
Or at least the rocks.
Please go on.
But yes, but the point is, we went.
It was
in.
what your old fashioned is not on the rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that ice, by the way.
Yeah.
It worked out fine. I'm with somebody very special now. But in
Okay,
any
good.
case, so we're out there and we're just like, hey, it was just he and I. We were like, hey, let's check this out. And I forget if everybody came, but like we were the ones talking. We were like, hey,
Yeah.
like we want to see this. So like we're going in there, and I only remember John. Were there other people with us?
No, I don't think so.
Because, like, he and I constantly made eye contact while we're watching the show, laughing our asses off, like, why is this the first time we're seeing this?
Yeah. Well, then another one that we didn't see for a while was Finding Nemo the musical.
That was, I was saying there were two, because Lights, Motor, Action was definitely one of them for me.
But there were three.
But there were, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
one.
hold on. As in, this, whoever you were with said, this is what we can skip?
Yep.
Yes.
It's the reason I go to Animal Kingdom.
I hear you.
Oh, but remember the one trip that it was like it just wouldn't happen.
It was one of the last times
We sat down in those uncomfortable bleachers.
We talked about those
yeah.
bleachers.
And the show is halfway done. Like those swordfish guys are fighting. He's like, "Oh, touche," and they run off, and then the curtains close, the lights go down.
Well, yeah, because the lights are supposed to go out,
Yeah,
and they never came back
yeah,
up.
and they're just like, "This performance has been canceled." It like
It's
you
not.
can
It's
vacate
been
the theater
delayed.
now.
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
No, it's this performance has been canceled.
Yeah.
Please exit.
Yeah, and we're like,
Wow.
"What
Yeah.
happened?
We apologize, and you just.
What happened?"
Then we tried to see it later.
And didn't it cancel again? Like before it even
did.
started?
So
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. I don't. Maybe I'm. It could be the trick. This is not my first. I think it happened 3 times
I think so.
because there was
Well,
the swordfish.
I think one time was something that they recovered from. Like it was down for a while
There
and
was
then they
an issue.
recovered from. Yes.
Because there was one where the pelican was supposed to come out and he didn't.
Right. Well, that was the one where after those sword fighting guys they left and they're like, "This performance has been
And
canceled."
like, oh crap! And then there was another one. He came halfway out. It was something with somebody on one of the wires. They were having trouble that day. We tried to see it 3 times. We did finally finish it, and it was still a rough go.
Yeah, because the wire, it didn't go up. They like did that. Just keep swimming on the floor.
And you're like, when it's just like when you've seen it enough times, you're like, I know what you're supposed to be doing, and you're not doing that. The audio, there was something about the audio too, because we were just like, somebody just got
We're
fired.
blowing his mind right now. Yeah.
Is this the same day?
This is the same day.
At what point do you say, "Hey, let's just call it a day"?
That
No,
third
because
time.
here's what you do. You're like,
I
"Nah,
mean,
dude,
as the
it's
people
not going to
running
happen twice in a
Right.
row." And then you look at each other. It can't possibly happen 3 times in a row. You gotta try.
So I support you trying. I mean, the people running the.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do you just go,
Somebody
"Hey,
died.
Somebody must have died.
Or
someone passed"?
I know someone got fired. I can't guarantee someone died. But someone got fired.
Yeah.
Someone got fired so hard.
Someone is now loading people onto the carousel of progress.
They're driving the truck for the Galaxy's Edge over to the Galactic Star.
Oh, they're not driving the truck to the backlot tour,
Ooh.
which
Yeah,
we have a story.
That's
About
you
the
know what?
backlot
Go
tour.
on. That's a story right there.
This is my fault.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
I share this responsibility.
Yeah. It was our fault. Now, Backlot Tour had a wonderful show. So, I'm sorry, the Backlot Tour begins with a show where there's audience participation. You know, you got your captain, your sea captain, your mariner, and the deck hand, and there's like a storm or something like this, a tidal wave. Really, really fun to be a part of. If you want to be a part of it, you'd wait early for the show. You'd be right in line. They'd come out, and you'd be like, raise your hand, and you're like, all right, come on in, and they dress you up and all that. And then they would give you a backlot tour. One of the best Hollywood Studios experiences, in my opinion. It was a long, a long, in-depth ride and immersive, and you got to see like props and stuff from Disney movies. Awesome. I miss it. The Backlot Express restaurant's still there with its days numbered. But anyway,
Days numbered.
Cheers to
Days
that.
numbered. You need a refill there,
You
pal.
need a refill.
All right, hold on.
So we basically we're here for a few more days. Do you want to hit the Backlot tour? You know what? We're hitting Hollywood Studios in a couple of days again. We'll do it then. We're like, okay. We all agreed. That day, later that day, it was announced that it was closed permanently. So we missed out on our last goodbye to the backlot
I think it was
tour.
the next day.
Well, it might have been the next day. But point is, we missed it.
We were crunched for time. And we were just like, there's these things we want to hit. And we literally said out loud, backlot tour. Because we had this down. So what he's talking about as far as like some people would get picked and they'd get to be on the ship. Folks watching probably know. At least if they've been there some time.
Yeah.
So 3 people would be picked. And they would act out the scene, and it would be recorded only to play through once. I'm surprised they never gave that to the folks. You know,
I know, but you did a cool edit on one of the photos.
I did. I
called
did.
it "Enemy of the Deep." We'll post that on Instagram or something.
But so like we knew exactly where to stand, how to shake our frickin' hand.
Right.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
we had been picked a couple of times.
Right.
Each visit, simply because we knew exactly what to do,
Yep.
and we loved it. We
It was
hammed
a
it up.
blast.
Yeah. Although I still have yet to, I mean, it never will happen now, sit and get hit by the blast of water.
Right. Same.
Yeah, I've always been on the boat.
Yeah.
But in any case, so like we had it down. So we're just like, oh, hey, we should go ahead and do that. Maybe it was going to be my time in the in the splash room. But in any case, so it's there. People are in line. We know what to do. You know what? We're crunching for time. Save it for tomorrow. We had no idea it was the last day. Like, if anybody's wondering,
Yeah.
when did that ride stop going? We were there the last day.
Yep, we were.
Because it was literally, because we
Stings.
went up, we saw the sign, and we're like, oh, it's down today. Read the sign. No, it's down forever. That's it. It's
Yeah.
never coming back.
Yeah, crazy.
That's why we're so on top of the Disney news today.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's a lot more widespread
It's like
today.
you get
Yeah.
like a flashback.
Dude,
yeah.
I will not go to the park without being like, okay, is anything gonna be down for refurbishment? ... Like, there are things we didn't, you took it for granted.
Right.
Matter of fact, I think we really lucked out. If you think about, especially if you're keeping up on stuff, what's down, what's going away, what's being refurbished. We were playing it like just going with it,
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it?
flying by the seam of our pants.
We
just,
were.
like,
Yeah.
and we were looking out.
Yeah.
We never thought there was a reason to really look ahead. If something was down, it was because of a mere outage, and
Right.
you'd be back later
We'll
on.
be back later, yeah. Well,
Man.
similar thing happened to me with Ellen's Energy. Is I missed it the very last time. I think everybody else went, and I did not do it. And then that was it. I didn't have a goodbye to that ride, so it's a little tough.
That's why Splash Mountain bothers me. There is no good. And don't get me wrong, I could go. I won't. Just to everyone who's currently going, all well and good. I can't go until they change a few things. I don't feel loved. I know it's fake love. I know it's fake love.
I know
I'm
what
just
you
saying,
mean.
I don't feel loved.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Because, though I'm not going to the extreme of saying I won't go until these problems are fixed, but the thought has crossed my mind. Just like, well, there are other places to vacation, which originally that thought was like, well, why would I go anywhere else? But now I'm starting to think, well, there are other places to vacation.
I'm still headstrong.
Like, I know I'm gonna go again.
Yeah.
I really I enjoy my time at Disney. I enjoy walking around Epcot. We're
Yeah.
not even talking about riding rides at this point.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about just going around. Drinking in Epcot is
Okay,
adults.
so
Yeah.
Adults, you hear me?
I got a
Yeah.
question for you. Since we're in Epcot, did you ever ride the Norwegian? I don't
Come
even.
on,
I don't-
Maelstrom.
Yeah,
Look,
I don't
you're
know
getting
what
into a subject. Oh shit! You know what? Let's just. Yes, I rode that ride, and yes, it was awesome. I'm not saying Frozen isn't nice. It's nice, although they let one of the animatronics get a little way too glitchy.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it was also awesome beforehand. The difference being is I could just walk on the ride before. And now it's like a 3-hour wait which is a difference. You need a fast pass for that
And
sucker
with the
now.
World
Yeah.
Showcase, it's not usually a home for long lines. Like there are Three Caballeros, right? It's a walk-on. Now they got Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in France, which is also a long wait. But they do a pretty good job of hiding it, the crowd. But it just never used to be a home of very long lines. So
Now, don't get me wrong. If you're going there as an adult to partake in wine, food, none of this is going to affect you. If anything, it's going to draw down some of the food lines.
Yep.
That said, if you're somebody who is there who's like, ooh, hey, let's hit the Maelstrom.
you were able to get right on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it stings, doesn't it?
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
The land had a line.
But you know,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this is it comes back to what I was saying with Disneyfying things. Like with Hollywood studios, it doesn't need to be. I'd prefer it to be Hollywood movies, not Disneyfied Hollywood. Now we're Disneyfying Norway when it should just be.
It's everything.
You know.
Yeah.
They're bringing in IP where it was nice when they were creating things for the park.
Right.
Figment is one of those things.
So it was still Disney, but it was for the park.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing existing IP in and overcoming, like Norway or France.
Matter of fact, the best new thing I think they've done, and I can't wait to go, is the restaurant Space 2020.
Space 220.
220. I mean, talk about that as an Epcot thing.
Yes.
The concept is great.
Yep.
It's a restaurant. Cool. I can go there. I can have fun with the theme as well as.
It's one of the only restaurants we didn't talk about when we talked about the food.
Yeah, I'll
we haven't
pass.
Have you been?
We haven't
Yeah,
been.
no, I'll pass on it.
Oh.
What?
Not even just trying it out.
You know, space isn't something that interests me.
But food.
No, that
you're in
doesn't-
space, though.
You know, so here's the thing: space movies lose me.
Really?
They do,
Okay. Well, there is a difference.
and that's one of the main points I bring up with Star Wars, because I am not a Star Wars fan.
that would.
Just not a space movie kind of guy. There are some exceptions, but not a space movie kind of guy. Space does nothing for me.
So, did you ever ride, or did you ever experience Stitch's Great Escape?
Yeah,
That was space. How did you like it?
it was okay.
And before that was the alien encounter. Had you ridden that?
No, that just stopped.
Just stopped? Because I never did it. So.
Because Stitch's Great Escape was fairly new
Yeah.
at that point.
Right.
What's your opinion on that?
Stitch's Great Escape?
Yeah.
I liked it.
So did I.
Yeah.
Was it? It was on a lot of people's like worst ride lists.
I found that surprising. Don't get me wrong. If you were to start comparing it to other bigger rides, but smaller rides,
Yeah, it's
like
it's
the
good.
teacups. Let's compare it against the teacups.
I don't.
Teacups
t-
was one of my least
I-
favorite.
I'm glad you said this.
Go ahead. Say it's the favorite ride.
No. You're hating already. You have no idea what I'm going to say.
I'm just waiting for it.
You're hating already. I don't teacup.
I don't teacup either.
I get
I don't
dizzy.
spin in the teacup.
I get dizzy.
The one ride in Disney I haven't done, only because I know exactly.
You've never done it?
Everything in this
Really?
area sensitive. All right, I get dizzy easy. You gotta watch out for the ears.
This is one ride in Disney World I haven't
Soft
done,
teeth.
and it's in Blizzard Beach.
I know this ride.
Yeah,
I have a lot to say about this.
I did the one right next to it. Yeah, it's,
We'll bookmark that though.
John doesn't have what it takes.
I that may be true, but I'm not sure. But we need to have you back to talk about water parks.
You've done.
I will come back for the water park episode.
Yeah,
Good.
because you know what? I have a lot to say about the water parks.
And when I come back, I will tell you a water park episode. I will tell you about an experience on the ride that John didn't join me on. I did it alone.
There's a lot to talk about.
Everybody knows what it is.
I do want to touch because we skimmed on Lights Motors Action. I want to give it a little bit of due because, and then I have a question for both of you. But Lights Motors Action was my favorite stunt show, better than Indiana Jones. I was always like, hey, this is gonna ruin everybody's day if they mess up, but it was awesome. Jet ski, fire, just like uncomfortable bleachers, just the whole nine. Loved it. And then when Cars 2 came out, they had a little bit of like interaction between Lightning McQueen and
Great movie.
I remember that.
Mater. Yeah.
I remember the crap movie, and I remember the result. It's funny when I talk about the fact that it's one of the things that I was steered away from it. The selling point to that show is the fact of what happens behind the scenes, and that what I was told was what sucked about it. And I was like, no, that's not.
You were done wrong.
I was done wrong.
You were done wrong.
Especially because I'm a film lover, and that's we make for fun films, but we still do it for fun. So it's just like, wouldn't you suggest that for me? Wouldn't you be like, hey, you might find this interesting? That was surprising.
Maybe not. Yeah. Right?
Great show, though. Great show.
Fantastic.
The sets.
I loved it.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Definitely not one to skip.
It is now.
It is now, unfortunately.
Skip it.
You been on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
No.
The play area?
Oh, I've been on the play area, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see the 3D show is what.
I'm gonna pause you on the 3D show. I'm gonna give you all. Wait, it's gone now, right?
It's gone.
It's gone. Okay, here, look. If you have something like it, I had a I had a little one. This was my ex's son, and we're some folks are jumping on a ride, so we decide we're gonna head on over, and I'm going to bring him to Honey, I Shrunk the Kid Playland. Everything's overgrown. It's great. If you're in such a land and you're like, go on, just go into that thing, in this case a giant anthill, and just be like, you come down, you come straight to me. They will disappear and never return.
Wait.
And I have to imagine losing your own kid is a thing. Losing somebody else's kid, I'm just going to put it in my point of view, is just like, oh, God.
I messed up.
I have messed up. Number one, I'm attached, so I feel bad. And also, I also feel like I'm also not in charge enough.
I am now culpable.
I've messed up big here. So I climb up this thing and start crawling through with other children. Just being like, excuse me, little man. Just looking for,
like, all serious. Excuse me.
And then you find them and you can't yell because all they did was explore. And you're like, man. Yeah.
So
great place.
Wow, great place though.
Great place. Keep an eye on your children, though.
Keep an eye on the children.
Well, it's not there anymore, so
it's
you
gone.
know what?
There's plenty of other places to
let
lose
your children
a child.
run wild. It's okay.
Honey, I Shrunk the Audience or Captain EO?
Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Yeah.
The
obviously.
music.
Well,
Ironically, the music. Because
Obviously.
Jackson's like one of my faves, but nonetheless, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience for sure.
Yeah.
Now, nothing against Michael Jackson and his music, but Captain EO was not great.
No, I think it was good. It's just in comparison.
What did you like about it?
Jackson.
The end dance and performance was fun. Everything else was a drag, in my opinion.
It was all right.
It was all right.
It was meant for, but that's just it. And that's the things. There's certain things we, enjoyed that are changed for the times. That was one of them.
Right. True.
It's just
True.
farther back.
Right. Well, do you have something?
Yeah.
You go.
Are you? Do you have something specific? Because I'm gonna go.
No, I can wait for it. You go.
Okay. Downtown Disney versus Disney Springs.
He touched on something there.
And by the way, this is totally the route I'm going too. Like I have more of these. So.
There we go.
Wow! So I'm in this trap.
Yeah.
We have both been to both, and so this is. I didn't know this is where you were going. You didn't know this was where I was going.
Yeah.
So we don't know anyone's opinion as of right this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with you.
It's one of the things in life that I am mixed on. I'm not talking about Disney. I'm talking about, of all things, it's one of those things. I have
Really?
literally sat and thought about this. I have. I'm a Disney fan.
Wake up at 3 a.m. like,
Because there are some things about downtown Disney that I really liked. And when they did Disney Springs, there was some improvements that I would have not. I was like, ooh. And it nice. There's also some things where I'm like, they did that better.
Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood.
and there it is.
Yeah.
We were all thinking it.
Yeah.
If you went there before, it was fantastic.
It's your
If you
classic
went there
Planet Hollywood.
after, at least the menu was, for the most part, the same.
And at least the table was a TV.
Yeah.
It was so
It's
loud.
so boring now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
still?
There's no.
Yeah. I haven't been, but
I'm
So-
done. I'm done.
So this is an interesting trio we have right here, because you were the first one to take John to Disney.
mm-hmm.
John was the first one to take me to Disney.
You're like
Okay.
my grandson.
I'm like the grandson here. I'll wear the role proudly. We went to Planet Hollywood when it was still good, when it was still downtown Disney.
Classic Planet Hollywood.
It wasn't until the second time I went to Disney that it was Disney Springs, and someone
And
had
they
to
were like,
someone had to explain to
Yeah.
me what was happening, because I was like, I don't understand. And what an experience that was.
I bet.
So we don't agree often, but I have to say, if you're going to Disney World for a first time, in my personal experience, I can't speak for him because I'm sure you're a great guide.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy to go with, because he made sure not only that I did everything. Not a roller coaster guy. Don't like roller coasters. He made sure I did everything. But he made sure that I went to the places, because the countless restaurants and whatnot that Disney World has, he made sure I went to the places that were important to remember for the time. And let me elaborate on that a little bit. Cinderella's Royal Table.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it again. But what an experience for your first time,
Didn't get the right Jasmine.
right? Didn't get the right Jasmine. Come on, step up your Jasmine game. But
Yeah.
Sorry, there was this huge line for Jasmine, and it just echoes on.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, there's a lot of adults in that line.
But you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Cinderella's Royal Table. We went to Planet Hollywood when it was still downtown Disney, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohana. These places that, because the first visit, I would argue, is an important visit.
It is.
Yeah.
It sets the tone for the rest of your visits.
And expectations.
Sets the expectations.
Creates nostalgia.
Creates
future.
nostalgia. Thank you, John. Let me take this. You know what? We don't agree often, but I'm going to take this moment to thank you because, well, okay, settle down.
You're
now,
welcome.
because you've done
The pride.
You've done wrong. Don't get me. You've done wrong.
Did I?
But you are the one that got me started in the right place.
Hey, and I have to thank Joe because that's how I got to know it so well. But
And I have to thank my uncle for just being...
And cheers to your uncle.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope you're resting in peace up there.
did I take you to T-Rex?
Oh yeah.
T-Rex, the first year it opened up, we went there. And we're like, that's awesome. We're going to go again. They're like, oh, have you been here before? We're like, yep. We're like, yep, we have. I say Disney Springs if it's between the two.
I also say Disney Springs only because the last time I went to Disney, it was such a party. Whatever time you went, there was always some sort of music happening. There was always some sort of event. There was always, something good to eat. It was a party 24/7.
Did you not go to Pleasure Island?
Yeah.
Like, Pleasure Island... I'm just saying, like,
So
you could go there at night, and you could have a party.
True.
And it was pretty solid. I'm not saying you can't do that now. I'm just saying, like...
It was a section. It was a thing.
No.
It was a section.
You're not understanding.
I'm not understanding. I'm not feeling you?
You're not feeling me.
All right. My bad. I was on a different plane.
Because you can go to a different section of Disney Springs and it's still a party, but it's a different kind of party.
Yeah. No, I got that.
I got you.
So then you're gonna have to elaborate on what you said because I'm not getting.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
It's
Hold
for
on.
you. It's for you.
Whoa. Time out. What on earth are you talking about?
No.
Time's out.
It's Disney. It's Disney. I'm not talking about anything extreme. Talking just Pleasure Island was fun.
I was sad when they were getting rid of Pleasure Island.
I don't know what Pleasure Island is.
Well, it was just you got your.
It was an island of pleasure.
It's basically where the Cirque du Soleil at the that area, that strip.
Oh,
Right,
I don't venture that way often.
Cirque du Soleil did get a new show. We did see the old one.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
The old one was pretty good.
Guy was juggling.
Cirque
He
du
dropped
Soleil
something.
kind of has its like if you've seen multiple shows, they kind of have their set acts.
Yeah.
I don't know how best to describe it. It's where like, okay, this is the juggling, this is the high flying. You kind of have your thing. But they kind of create a story around it, which is always fun.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil for that.
I'd like to speed some choices by you, okay? Some of them you'll know, some of them you won't, but that's okay. I'll start with an easy one. Camp Mini Mickey or Pandora?
Pandora.
Okay.
Go on, give your shit answer.
This is ridiculous.
Toontown or New Fantasyland?
New Fantasyland.
Snow White's Scary Adventure? Seven Dwarfs Mine Train?
That's a good one.
That's the one.
I think I know what he's gonna say.
Okay.
My answer, I could catch crap either way, to be honest. It's gonna be Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, though.
Wasn't expecting that.
No.
Nope, wasn't expecting that.
So the theming around Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is more or less the queue. The outside facade. It's a smooth ride.
It is smooth.
Very smooth.
But
this whiskey,
to be honest,
right?
you don't really hit that theming until you hit, inside the mine, which is it's perfect. When you hit it, you hit it.
Yes.
And to be honest, there's other sections that could use a little bit more theming. Maybe it's because the ride's a little quick. The ride is a little quick for the wait.
Yeah, very quick.
It is.
But that inside portion is gold, and that end is gold.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it to that one. But yeah, the other one's still good though.
Yeah. Soarin' over California or Soarin' around the world?
Soaring around.
Yeah.
You mentioned this in your last episode.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about because the Eiffel Tower. When you're dead center.
John hates on the Eiffel
Look,
Tower so hard.
He's not wrong. If you are dead center, you're good. Everything, whether you're a little to the left, a little to the right, all good. There are certain scenes, and the Eiffel Tower is one of them, where if you're on the edge, it's so hard not to see it with the curve. And when you see it, it takes you right out of it.
You guys are out of your minds.
Look, so when you're on the edge, like you said, where you can see the edge of the screen, anybody who goes to Soarin' knows, okay, I'm on the edge, look this way. I'm good. I can focus on that and be involved. All well and good. That's up to you as the adult. But the lean is difficult.
I'm not disagreeing.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing that there's definitely a lean and there's the best seat to sit in. However, Soarin' is usually the first ride I ride in Epcot because I usually rope drop that. I'm cranky in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I said it. I'm happy just to be there in the first place. I'm not analyzing if the Eiffel Tower is crooked. I'm on vacation.
I'm a detail man. I can't help but see it. I'm about the equilibrium, if you will.
Yes.
And when the Eiffel Tower is like, yo, what up? I see it. So,
thank you for agreeing.
No, I'll agree. As far as the California one, it's a little bit more difficult to notice. Hopefully my voice hasn't been too far. I realize I've been leaning back, and then over here it sounds a little different.
We'll see.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, but in any case, when you're over California, there's a lot more kind of open plain where it's easier to disguise, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I can agree on that. I will say, as far as when they upped that resolution and everything, coming over the mountain is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna give it to the world. That said, they could either do a bigger surrounding. This is obviously big budget, but I'm all about putting money in your moneymaker, and the park is the moneymaker.
That's what Walt's whole philosophy was. Don't shortchange the people, and they will come back.
They will keep coming, and that's what I'm saying. You're making that dough now.
Yeah.
What am I giving you that's gonna make you be like, oh no, we can't go to Mexico, we can't go to the Bahamas, we can't go to, I don't know, friggin'
Whatever.
Ireland. We
need
got to
to-
go to Disney.
Right.
Why? That's what's that thing?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. That was very well put. Yeah. Because I completely agree with you. And I think we're straying away from Walt Disney's original idea. Specifically I have a lot of problems with Genie Plus. Yeah. And I think we're straying away from what Walt Disney wanted.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, we can only hope that it's a slump, and not too many people get upset. Of course, if they do, that means less lines. So that's fine with me too. So
I mean, at the same time, you almost kind of want. So it's funny because we'll talk about Genie Plus and everything like that, and you can see the benefit for Disney as far as like using the reservation system, using Genie Plus.
right.
We are figuring. We know where you're going to be today. You're reserving your ride. You have to reserve.
Reserve.
That's the word. That's the word.
Running
Anyway,
on
you have to
fumes.
reserve your park.
That was a tough word.
They're even talking about reserving your park for park hoppers too, as far as post
Right.
initial park. So it helps them as far as figure out where they're going to need resources and what have you. At the same time, the guest experience has suffered greatly. It used to be, number one, you go back far enough, it used to be you could wing it. Now, I haven't been there lately. I'm going to go based on the last time I was there. At that point, as an adult, no kids, you could wing it.
Right.
And what I suggested to my friends, they did not listen, is if you plan on going, especially if you have kids, go on a vacation for yourselves, go on a nice adult vacation, experience Disney World.
Yeah.
Learn the lay of land. It doesn't have to be very in-depth. Just get to know it. Get to know the system. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Next time you go, then you bring the kids. Because kids are on their own time.
Yep.
They're going to do what they want to do. And, I mean, It doesn't matter what you spent. Doesn't matter what
you have to accommodate.
You got to accommodate.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to end up doing. So, best number one, that you've seen some stuff so you don't mind missing out on it, if that's the case.
Right.
And two, you know at least the lay of the land and be like, oh, we need to go here? All right, come on. Let's go do this.
Yeah.
And you go in there blind with kids, first time, no planning. When somebody comes back and says, oh, we had a horrible time, the hell you say?
Right.
What did I tell you?
Yeah. That's always very frustrating.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have to be that much planning. I will agree on that, but it is. And it has only gotten worse. They will need to find a balance, whether that's through force, their own doing, or them coming back on from what is rock bottom. If they hit that wall, I don't see Disney doing that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, we can see. We can see.
They kind of hit it with Galactica.
Oh, come on.
Jesus Christ. Galaxy's Edge. I'll give you. Okay, let's talk about let's talk about the hotel. The Star Wars hotel. Can we say that?
I'll pass
That's
on
the
that.
Galactic Star Cruiser.
That's the word he keeps trying to use. Galactic Star Cruiser.
I think that's where I'm coming from.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. If you are a Star Wars fan looking to LARP,
Pass.
No, that's the thing to do. Mm-hmm. That is the thing to do, and you will probably have a ball.
I knew a guy who LARPed.
Mm-hmm.
He and I asked him about his hobbies, and he really very much enjoyed it. And I'm not putting down the people who do enjoy it. And he was a great guy. He looked after his sick parents and whatnot. A great guy, but he put a lot of money into his hobby. He was talking to me about this tunic. This tunic that was this tunic that was a couple $100. I was like, huh.
That was the best story ever.
So cheers to that guy.
So
here's the thing. You're taking a fandom that is, it's solid.
Yeah.
It's hitting some breaking points.
They need to revitalize. Yeah.
So, but with that series, it's got a huge fan following. And you've got LARPing, which not everybody's into, but it's just like, hey, you get to be invested in the character and what have you.
Cheers to that guy.
Cheers to that guy. What's, again, the longevity? How many times can you get somebody to come back to that story for that price? Because it's $5,000.
I don't know. It's like $6,000.
Yeah. $6,000
for
for a weekend.
Yeah, for a weekend.
For a quick weekend.
That's why I'm making one day. Yeah. Okay.
So let's say it's worth it to you, and you're like, yes, I'm gonna spend that money. Are you coming back? So,
how long is it going to be?
How long is that sustainable?
Are they going to see a return on investment building that whole thing and employing people to do
I'll
that?
stay at All-Star Movies.
But here's the reason. Here's the reason I'm using that as an example. I'm using that example for a very specific reason. That's how we calculate it. Now, Disney, who has people, who research trends, money spending at the park, like all these different things. And this was the decision made, having those people. So either somebody really, really wanted this thing and did it anyway, which can happen. You get somebody with enough pull, that can happen. Otherwise, they've done the research and they know, based on their predictions, exactly what's going to happen. If that's the case, either way, it's going to be an interesting sight into the next 5 years. Either we're going to be like, I can't believe that succeeded, or that
nobody goes there anymore.
Did anyone not guess that was going to fail? I don't know.
Right. We'll see. I can only hope that the sustainability factor, they come out of that slump. I know I keep calling it a slump. To some, it may not be, but I think it's they need to put the guest first. And like I said, you put the money in, you don't shortchange. People will always come back. So,
that's the thing.
You
hit that. No, you nailed it on the head. You hit that customer satisfaction.
Yeah.
If you can go to that place and literally escape, just kind of for however long you're there, the outside world is minimal at best, if not non-existent.
Right.
Because you are here.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
To end, let me ask a question. Which, not including like Splash Mountain or even Finding Nemo the musical, because the new one's not out yet. What's the old attraction that you miss the most?
Ooh. That's a good question.
Thank you.
And this is to both of us?
It's to all of us. I'll answer it.
Okay. Well, I know it's not like terribly old, but I have to go Great Movie Ride.
Okay.
I had very strong opinions when they were talking about changing it, and my opinions haven't changed even though I've ridden Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Okay. Very good.
See, I would say Splash Mountain, but you said I can't choose Splash Mountain because it would definitely be Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
It's whether it happens on their timetable. As far as I know, it has been announced they have some type of timetable.
Yeah.
But even if that weren't the case, it's clear. It's they've announced it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
That said, if I had to choose something that is gone right now, and I hate to put you in this position, but it would also be the Great Movie Ride.
Oh, that's okay.
All right.
I don't agree. But part of me wants to say Maelstrom for the low wait time, pleasant ride, and just the World Showcase. But I'm going Lights, Motors, Action, I think, because I really looked forward to that.
I mean, you said ride though.
Attraction, I thought I said. I'll go ride Maelstrom. Maelstrom's
Okay.
fine.
Well, yeah. Regardless.
Yeah.
Could have just
it was
walked
a good answer.
on. Guys, do you know the land will be that? Like at some point, it's gonna be like, ooh, the land. Did you get a fast pass?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
Everybody
living with the
just
land.
figured it out. Did you just figure it out? Somebody
living with the land.
it's like somebody was just like, hey, the land is actually pretty legit, and then a bunch of people started. Oh my god!
There was a 50-minute wait one time. It was crazy stuff.
I remember walking on and to be like, if a person was standing there, it'd be like, the hell is this?
Yeah.
Why is someone in front of me?
Why is there one person in front of me?
I miss those days.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I'd say those are the rides that don't last, but even Splash Mountain's getting replaced, and that is not the same line situation.
Yeah, right.
Well, we miss those days, huh?
We do.
To the
Cheers to those days.
to the early days.
To those days.
Gentlemen,
I'm out.
I'm not. Take it easy.